Let's go back to the book of Revelation. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. Right? So the angel king of the bottomless pit is called this in these two languages. Let's look at Abaddon real quick. G3, a destroying angel. Okay, what does Apollyon mean? G623, a destroyer. That is Satan. We specifically get Satan here. Of course, they both have the same meaning. It's the same individual, right? Just a different language. So Satan, the destroying angel. Do we know anyone else by this name? What about this guy? HinduWebsite.com. Hindu god Lord Shiva, the destroyer. If Brahma is the creator, Vishnu the preserver, Shiva is the quintessential destroyer. And even non-secular who study this use the same exact name. As we all know, if we've looked at this individual at all, Shiva, that's who he is, the destroyer. Do we know anyone else by that name? What about this guy? PrayerTimeNewYorkCity.com, 99 names of Allah. Number 61, the inflictor of death, the creator of death, the destroyer. Am I picking and choosing name 61 just to make a point here? Well, this guy who has their prophet's name doesn't seem to think so. The creator, the protector, the destroyer. Top three anyway, right? So is this a coincidence? Well, these guys don't seem to think so. Mecca? Medina? A Shiva temple? And if you look here, this is what's called a Shiva Lingam. And this is a Shiva Lingam. This is in Mecca. This is in India. Let's look a little closer at the similarities that they have here. So here's Shiva, disgusting, right? Covered with the serpent. Not cherubim, but serpents. And this is called the Shiva Lingam stone in a pedestal. And look at this. Look at this. There's a whole row of them. That's interesting and common, isn't it? So what does the Whore of Revelation have to say about this? The Catechism of the Catholic Church. The Church's relationship with the Muslims. The plan of salvation also includes those who acknowledge the Creator, in the first place amongst whom are the Muslims. Why? Because together with us, they adore the one merciful God. All right, Vatican.va. Here it is again. So, the first place is the Muslims. Why? Because they have the same God. Together with them, the Catholic Church, they have the same God. So, what do the Shiva guys have to say about this? Let's go back to our article here. The Kaaba Mosque is an ancient holy place of Hindu Sanatan Dharma. What? What's the name? Let's drop the A in the end. What do we got? An awful coincidence, I might say. Which was broken up and a mosque installed. There exists no historic document in Islam about the Kaaba Mosque, no artifacts, etc., providing the exact date of building of the mosque. It was an ancient seat of Lord Shiv worship. Similar is the seat in the Vatican, which is a corrupt format of the Sanskrit word Vatika. Well, I couldn't find this exact word, but I did find it with a K and a phonetically identical pronunciation spelling. Vadika. What's that? A conjurer, a magician. we look at the mark of the beast, this sounds familiar, doesn't it? But look at the variable form of Vatika, right? A C or a K, same pronunciation. A juggler or conjurer. And the variable definition as well. Vatika, a person who cures poison, a dealer in antidotes. Again, look at the mark of the beast. These are some awful coincidences. Let's see if we can see some more connections between these guys. Let's start with the head office here. All right, so we're all familiar with these beads. Who else has these beads? Of course, Buddha has them. And Islam, of course, same God. Oh, and Shiva. And where'd they come from? Huh, Babylon. Beads, beads, spool of beads, and a necklace of beads. Let's go back and look at our Shiva Lingam here. Okay, so what we have here is we have what's called the Shiva Ling stone. We have a pedestal. And if you'll notice, there's a serpent wrapped around it. And it looks like a baby serpent here, and another one on the bottom. All right, so what we want to focus on is this, the Destroyer Lingam. Okay, here we have a Shiva Lingam stone that appears to occur in nature. This is a natural occurring stone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another one, and then we're going to show you, well, we're going to show it to you in the public eye in a way we've never seen. Okay, so let's do this. Quick slideshow, and I'll be talking through this a little bit. All right, so here's another one. Here's another one. I think they're doing magic, but they're not. All right, and we see it everywhere. We're familiar with this shape, aren't we? Here's an old TV show. Here we have the image of the beast monument. Of course. Where else would you put the destroyer symbol? Right? And no, that's not Jesus. No way. We just saw who fits into it, right? The destroyer, Abaddon, Apollo. We're beginning to see it. We've got some more to look at here. Does anything stand out there for you? What about the entrance? Did they just randomly pick these shapes? Or they just couldn't help themselves? What about on the inside and at the altar entrance? And more and more. So, who is it they're worshiping? Who are they worshiping? They're not worshiping Mary. See it? Doesn't matter what they put in there, or the shape. And many think this is the pineal gland. I assure you, the true story is much more horrifying. So who is it they're worshiping? What about here? Who's this? That's who they're talking about when you see this shape. That's who they're worshiping. You see it? Now you can see it, right? It's the big dummy. All right. And you can see it everywhere now. That wasn't just some lucky design award. right in front of our eyes and we don't see it. Let's get back to our Shiva Lingam. Why does this look so familiar? Well, Vatika. Some more. Coincidental shapes they've picked here. But what's this? This Shiva Lingam is exhibited in the Gregorian Etruscan Museum in Vatican City. And there it is written on the negative. And what do we have down bottom? During archaeological excavations, many such meteoric stones mounted on carved pedestals, Shiva Lingams on bases, are discovered in Italy. They are discovered there. Many of them are. That's what it says, right? And what's the period here? What's the date? Between the 2nd and 7th century BC in northern Italy. So this is 100 to 700 years before the Lord is the time they're looking at here. Over in northern Italy. Something that's believed to be from India. So do you think the Lord knew about these? Keep that in mind. We'll talk about that again in a second. So we've seen many different shapes. They've used logos. They use phallic symbols. The Washington Monument is one. So let's look at this particular one. This is a very common lingam shape. So let's just focus on this particular shape. I want you to see something very important. Watch this. Here's another one, a lingam. Here's another one. And of course, Buddha. Notice the shape of the doorway. And in Russia, another lingam. And of course, the image of Apollyon. Can't forget that. In the Temple of Heaven in China. Am I grasping at straws here? Well, the worshippers don't seem to think so. They've combined them into one building. Some sort of weird tribute. And of course, we can't forget the seat of the beast. The home office that rides the beast. And of course, the abomination of desolation. Standing where it ought not. Set up in 687 AD, 1290 years after the sacrifice was taken away. Okay? And notice this. Here's a lingam. Here's another one. Here's another one. And another one. And another one. And look at the building. It's adorned with them. They could have used squares, triangles, circles, anything. But they adorned it with this. Of course, the archways. Okay? This thing, it's the same God. So what did we just see? What did we just see? When we read in Matthew chapter 4 that Satan took the Lord up to a high mountain and said, "See all these kingdoms and the glory of them? I will give them to you if you bow down to me." And the Lord rebuked him. And we can see very clearly that what he rejected, men have taken. See this? This is not our imagination. This is real. This is who rules the earth. Satan. This is his kingdom. The whole entire thing. Alright, so don't worship any of the big dummies. Like, who did we leave out? Who's not in here? We got theater. Like, just think about how many people in this country, or in this belief system, or this belief's democracy, or this one. Just between this one and this one, what's that? 2.5 billion? Plus all of Christianity who that's following all these? 3 billion plus? Then how many in China? Yeah, think about it. We didn't leave anybody out. The atheists are here. They're here. They're here. Right? These are the things that they get involved with. He's a tricky snake. Right? And like we said at the beginning, this is not about people. How could it be? This is everyone. Everybody. The people I love are involved in at least 3 of these. So that's pretty crazy. You're worshiping the same God from 2 different angles of deception. It's horrifying. It really is. So when the Lord said, when you see the abomination that causes desolation, do you think he was referring directly to this? Do you think he was saying, when you see this set up here, get out of town? That might have been exactly what he was saying, because these are around. This is 2nd century, 7th century. This goes back further. All right. So Israel was surrounded with this symbol long before the Lord came along. Or at least before he came and blessed us with his flesh and sacrifice. All right. And what a lot of people don't realize is this place that's called the Temple Mount, it's not actually where this temple stood. This, if you look at this rectangular shape, it's called the Temple Mount, right? And here's the Dome of the Rock. If you look around the Mediterranean, you'll see this exact shape. What is it? It's a Roman fort. That's what this is. This is the, was it Anatolia? Forgive me if I messed the name up. Been a while since I looked at that. And the temple actually is down in this area, over the Spring of Gahan. The actual temple was here. That's why we're reading scripture that came down from the fort to the temple. All right. So that's an interesting context there. But the reason I bring that up is it a coincidence that the head office says that they're the same God, and this is set up on Roman land? Right? Is it a coincidence? I don't know. Look at the image of the beast. I don't think it is, because where this was set up and what it was named before. All right. And for those who might be wondering where the serpent may be in the Vatican, take a look at this building. This is called Paul VI Auditorium, I believe. And if you think it looks like a snake from the outside, take a look on the inside. Yikes. Like, really yikes. And he sits right here, speaks out of the mouth of the serpent. So, when we look at that, in light of what we see here, this is the kingdom of the serpent on the earth. We know that from Scripture. He offered it to the Lord himself. So since then, until you show me the Lamb coming in clouds, yeah, his kingdom's not here. Period. Everything else is his kingdom. The serpent's kingdom, okay? Everything here is his right now. Very soon to be taken away. All right? Yeah. This is just... the mass of people involved in all this is scary. So, there it is. Let's get this out of our vision.